Have you decided that it's time to wean your toddler off their pacifier? Now, while many of you might have been tempted to do the cold turkey method, let me tell you, this is very challenging and stressful for your toddler and for you. But what if I told you there was a gentler and more magical method to help your toddler give up their pacifier? A method that would actually have them embracing the concept, being glad and happy to give up their pacifiers at the end of the process. Let me introduce you to the pacifier fairy method. The pacifier fairy method works really well for children aged 2 to 4. If you are thinking of weaning a younger child off their pacifier, then watch this video for a more age appropriate weaning method. No matter how you decide to wean your toddler off their pacifier, you need to prepare them, and you need to do this preparation quite well in advance and not rush it. It's up to you how long or short a time that you take to do this, but I usually recommend 2 to 4 weeks preparation before the big day. So during that preparation period, there are certain things that you need to do, and here are my 5 top tips. The first one, and one that I always suggest to parents, is that you use books to help you get your toddler ready for what's coming up. So there are some brilliant books out there, and I've put links in the description box below to my 3 favorite books that address pacifier weaning. And it's important that you go through this process first. You get your toddler prepared, you talk to them, and you read the books together, so you're introducing the whole concept of giving up the pacifier. My next tip is that if your toddler is using their pacifier at other times and not just for sleep, that you gradually extend the time that you leave before giving them the pacifier when they ask for it. So you can start off by extending it just a little bit, and over the days you take longer and longer before you give it to them. This means you're going to have to distract them. You're going to have to put a lot of effort into making them not miss the pacifier, and you're trying to extend that time before you give it to them. The aim is that this is the first step towards weaning them off, because ultimately you want them just to be having the pacifier when they sleep. So that first step is to just extend the time, make them wait a little bit longer each time that they ask for the pacifier. Once you've gone through that preparation process, then you're ready to move on to the next one, and that is to restrict the pacifier to certain times only. Obviously, when they're still going to sleep, so at nap times and bedtimes, they can have the pacifier. But then I would also only restrict the pacifier for when they are sitting down, say on your lap, reading a book, when it's quiet. So you don't want your toddler wandering around with the pacifier in the mouth. That's the first thing that we need to stop. So it's just for when they are sitting down quietly with you or when they were sleeping. For an older child, and who's still got their pacifier, and they ask for it, you could actually say, if you want your pacifier, that's fine, but then you need to go to your room and have your pacifier in there and go read a book. Therefore, you're discouraging them from just going on with their day with the pacifier in their mouth. So pacifier now is just for specific times and places. Number 4, the next tip, is that you actually need to introduce alternative comforters. And these have to work alongside the pacifier to begin with. So we're not exchanging, they're working together. So you're going to introduce a blanket they can get attached to, or a lovey of some description, and you're going to promote the use of those when they would normally want their pacifier. So you can't expect them not to have something comforting. But what we want to do is substitute these new comforters for the pacifier eventually. But to begin with, you work alongside each other. So you're offering them these things when they go to sleep, or when they want to have a cuddle, when they would normally have asked for the pacifier. You're now going to use these new comfort items as well to establish an attachment to them. Finally, number 5, it wouldn't be me if I didn't mention the sleep routine and how important it is. Because you are taking away the pacifier, which is the strongest help that your toddler has had so far to help them fall asleep, you are going to have to make sure that your sleep routine is consistent, that it's soothing, and it is full of strong sleep cues. That could be obviously the new support that you're giving them with a blanket or a lovey, white noise machine, can be audio apps, audio books, it can be a ceiling projector, anything that you think is going to help your toddler fall asleep more easily. And you're going to start using these before they give up the pacifier. So if you do not have a strong sleep routine in place, do not have a soothing bedtime routine with strong sleep cues and a really peaceful, comforting sleep environment for them, then you need to build on that now before you give up the pacifier. So now that you've done all that preparation, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you do that prep first, you are far more likely to succeed with this whole weaning process if you've got all those preparations done first. Then we move on to step number 2, which is introducing the pacifier fairy. And how do you do this? You start by telling your toddler that you've had a letter from the pacifier fairy, that she's looking for new pacifiers for young children that don't have any, and that she's asking your toddler to give up their pacifiers for these younger children. You can even address the letter to your toddler for greater impact, and you can read it to them and explain this is why they need to give up their pacifiers. So step number 3 is you get ready for collection day, and you make a big deal of this and you really get your toddler involved. So you get geared up for collection day, I would say anything between 3 days and a week before it's going to happen. Not longer than that and not less than that. And a good way to do this is to have a calendar. You mark it on the calendar, your toddler can tick off the days, and you put a big star on the calendar or a sticker that marks the day that the pacifiers are going to be collected. And another way to get your toddler involved is that you find a box and you get your toddlers decorate the box, because this is where they're going to put the pacifiers to give to the pacifier fairy. You let them go to town, let them decorate the box however they wish. This is their project and they are in control of this. So step number 4 is the big day. It's collection day. So again, you get your toddler involved. They must collect up all the pacifiers with you. They put them in the box, put the lid on the box, and then you both take the box and you put it on the front doorstep and you leave it there for the pacifier fairy to collect. So when your toddler is asleep, preoccupied some other way, when you know they're not going to see what you're doing, you remove the box, and I suggest that you throw that box away. You put it in a big dustbin at the bottom of the bin so you are not tempted later to go and get that pacifier. It has to be gone, and it also has to be somewhere that your toddler is not going to see it. And in its place, you put a thank you note. So then you get your toddler and you take them to the front door and you show them that the box is gone, so they understand that the box is gone, and then they have got a thank you letter from the pacifier fairy, who is thanking them so much for giving their pacifiers to the younger children that need them. And you can stick the letter up on the fridge, make a big deal of it. This is a big deal. Pacifiers have gone to a better place and the pacifier fairy has left a letter for your toddler. Now, step 5 is realization, because despite all your preparation and the fact that your toddler embraced the whole concept up to the last minute, the chances are that when it comes to the absolute crunch and they've got to go to sleep and there's no pacifier, you may have some tears. And this is perfectly normal. But usually within 2 to 3 days, this passes and they accept the fact that they're not going to have their pacifier back. And you've already laid the foundation for them to have all those other sleep supports to help them get to sleep effectively. The thing is that you must not give in. Don't be tempted to give them a pacifier. That's why I said when you dispose of the pacifiers, make sure you dispose of them. Then you will not be tempted to go and find a pacifier somewhere. Don't be tempted to hold one back and hide it in a special drawer, because you will be tempted to give it to them. So it's best that you don't even have that temptation. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and I wish you luck with your pacifier weaning journey. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We are a growing YouTube channel and your support is so much appreciated and it makes a big difference to us. Thank you for watching.